Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Um, I'm sorry this took a while, but I looked at the fight multiple times, and it was kind of hard for me to make a determination at first, and watching the first fight, watching the fight go through. I have to admit I was kind of biased towards Triple G. So I had to review and review and review and review and break it down to um, look at it in an unbiased standpoint. So, um, and also I was listening to other people's opinions about the matter to see what stands out as far as the fight. All right. When looking at the fight, this was a totally different fight. And at first, I thought Triple G was going to play the smart role, and I thought he was going to bait Canelo into a Mexican style fight and just outbox Canelo the entire fight, like what Canelo tried to do to Triple G in the first fight. But it did not turn out that way. Um, I did see what Triple G was trying to do. He was trying to play the big, tall man in the fight and work the jab. And I found it was effective in the first half of the fight. And I, in my mind, I give Triple G the first 4 rounds only based off the fact that he was using a jab. And he was keeping distance. But for 5 and 6, 5 and 6, I would say it can go either way because after that, during that time, and from round 6 on, you would see Canelo chopping Triple G down. And you could see those body shots were hurting Triple G. And in my opinion, I thought um, Canelo was going to drop Triple G with a body shot. So, and in some of the rounds, you could see Canelo, when he would hit with the body shot, Triple G would leave his feet. I mean, it was just, I mean, and you could, and like I said, during the workout sessions, uh, you could see Canelo's training, and you know he was training hard for that fight. So, um, but Triple G was a warrior, and Triple G stayed in the fight. And in the later rounds, you see Triple G start coming back, which made like between 9 and 12 kind of questionable. I give it to Triple G, but at the same time, they could go either way. And toward the end of the fights, in the later rounds, you see Triple G nearly knock out. I thought he was going to make a comeback and knock out Canelo, but once again, um, Canelo was landing the heavier shots. Um, Between, I think it was 7 and onward, um, Canelo got a cut in his eye, and it was in the later rounds where Triple G started becoming more aggressive. Then he got a cut on his eye. He had to sacrifice to hurt Canelo, but it was a little too late. Um, so did Triple G win that fight? It was a close fight, arguably, but in my opinion, um, as much of a fan as I am of Triple G, I can't see him winning that fight. I can't see him winning it just because um, Canelo landed. He stayed in the center of the ring, and even with the story of the fight, Canelo had the story of the fight. He stayed in the center of the ring, but even with the judges, he stayed in the center of the ring and fought. Um, and Triple G was using his jab effectively, but he had to do more than that. He started landing this cross effectively in the mid and going into the later rounds, but still, um, Canelo was landing a lot more powerful shots throughout the fight, and Triple G was just not doing enough. And I believe it was mainly because of the body shots and the shots that he was taking. Like Canelo was a lot more faster than Triple G. So going, going to the head or body, I believe Triple G had to sacrifice, and I think Triple G was more weak in the gut. Um, and so he had to keep he was working more the jab and jab cross to avoid to hurry up and get his hands back to protect his body. In comparison to um, well, then again, using the jab cross going to the head leaves, yeah, yeah. Well, I think he was just, let me rephrase that more. He was trying to protect his head and take it to the body than taking headshots. So he was trying to, well, I don't want to assume too much, but maybe he was trying to protect his head from taking a lot of shots, taking a lot of damage, either body or head, and he chose to take it to the body. But the shots were the body shots that were coming from Canelo were devastating, in my opinion. And but Triple G, he stayed and fought. He fought all the way to the end, and he did a good. He did great. But now, as far as a judge, on a judge part, when a fighter steps in the ring, a judge should not be looking. You can't see in the ring a fighter coming up in weight class. You can't see the story of the fight. The only thing that matters is ring generalship, who has control of the fight, who's landing the most jabs, who's landing the most power shots, who's the effective striker. Now, not in that order as far as which takes priority, but these are the things that matter when it comes to a boxing match. So, out of all those things, I give to Canelo. And Triple G is one of the best middleweights of all time. And after hearing um, Roy Jones, I'm not gonna argue one bit about who's the greatest middleweight of all time. Um, and I don't ever see any. I have never seen anyone surpass Roy Jones' record. So and do what Roy Jones did. So I'm siding with Roy Jones on that one. But as far as the story of the fight, you know, Canelo backed up what he said he was going to back up. And when he did that, you know, passion affects judges. I guess judges can't beat if, for example, um, Sugar Ray Leonard. I think it was Sugar Ray Leonard when he did the what is it, the shuffle, where at the end of the rounds, um, I mean, it would be a boring. It would kind of be like a boring fight, and then all of a sudden, um, he would steal the round by just throwing a flurry of punches in the last 10 seconds to make it look like he did something, and it would set in the judge's mind, wow, like Sugar Ray would manipulate the judges with that flurry of punches at the end of a fight. So, you know, if I believe if you can manipulate the judge, get them emotionally involved, I guess that is a tactic to win a fight. So I'm not going to argue with that either. So, um, like I said, if you want my opinion, and in my opinion, the person who won the fight was Canelo. Don't get me wrong, Triple G did the right thing. He worked the jab, and he did manage to keep distance, but just working the jab and the 1-2s, it just wasn't enough to stop Canelo. And he tried to come out with more. But it was at the end of the round. It was toward the later rounds, and um, Triple G just ran out of time. And plus, Triple G was hurt himself because he had taken a lot of punishment. So, um, I believe Triple G will bounce back. I look forward to seeing Triple G again. I'll be watching. But, you know, as far as his legacy, he done a lot for the sport. And I think he's a true gladiator of the sport. And critics, he's going to have to deal with the critics. And I think the only way for Triple G to bounce back is to, you know, win some fights and take a chance if he wants to cement his legacy. He's going to have to take a chance with somebody, a big name. And all right. Next up, I will be also covering Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz 3. I will also be covering Conor McGregor and Khabib. I will give you my opinion and outlook as far as what to expect in the fight and more of boxing. Thank you very much. This is HMAC, Indo Broadcasting. You all take care. Out.